Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Naquam, watchman of Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another Monday night fire, given, of course, all honor and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Mashiach, Wamalak Yahushai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of our Lord Yahushai. A hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom to those men. Shalom to those men that may not be out there on the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent, and they're abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom to those men. Shalom to the men that may not be out there on the highways and byways as of yet. It's lucky, but again, they're working on it, right? Shalom to all of the Akwaf out there, the sincere sisters out there, zealous and on fire, moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom to the ancient men, the children, and the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And a hearty shalom to everybody tuning in live on another Monday Night Fire. Yvette McKellar, Yeshelia, Salman McFadden, Don Israel, HBK Int, Willie, Yazian David, Yehuda, Israel, Brother Azariah, Shalom King, and everybody else tuning in and that will tune in, Lord willing. Right? This Monday Night Fire is, are you watching current events and signs of the times? Are you watching current events and signs of the times? There's a lot going on in the earth right now. If you've been watching, seeing what the Trump administration is doing, what's going on behind the scenes, what global events are taking place on the earth, seditions and earthquakes and uproars to the people. And again, like we always go into, we're commanded by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to keep watch, right? That's an integral part of being in this knowledge and being in this truth. Of course, repentance is number one. We repent, we acknowledge our sins to Yahweh in the name of his only begotten son, Yahushai. We apply the law, statutes, and the commandments that have been forsaken, and we uphold those with the utmost integrity. We also fast, we pray, we build up our households, and all of those things are perfect, and all of those things are holy and righteous. But there's more to this truth. You know, and part of this truth is being circumspect. Like the Lord said in the classic, and I'm going to actually get it in Proverbs, the 22nd chapter, and verse number 3, right? What did the Most High say about the spirit of prudence, right? Every brother must have the spirit of prudence. Every sister in his knowledge, you have to have the spirit of prudence. Proverbs chapter 22 and 3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. So a prudent man is a man that is circumspect. What does it mean to be circumspect? Circle meaning around, and spect meaning to watch, meaning you have your head on a swivel. You're always watching everything, right? You're watching the local news to see what's happening in your area. You're watching global news to see what's happening on a global level. You're watching national news. You're paying attention to the heavens, what the Most High is doing in the earth regarding the chariot sightings, regarding the sun and the moon with blood moons and the eclipses. You're paying attention and you're watching your spirit, right? And making sure that you're on point, lest you be sifted out by the spiritual demon Satan in the last days. You have to foresee the evil that the Most High is doing on the earth and hide yourself. And what do you hide yourself? Does that mean you hide yourself in the closet? You hide yourself in some underground bunker? No, we hide ourselves first and foremost under the shadow of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, right? And we put our trust in the Most High as we watch this place spiral out of control, man. Let's go to Psalms chapter 121, right, in verse number 5. Yahweh is thy keeper, Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil, he shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. And we have to believe that the Lord is our keeper. See, we're keeping watch, but we understand that the Most High is the keeper. He's the ultimate watchman. He's the ultimate watcher over our souls. The Heavenly Father sees those spirits that are coming and brewing up on the earth. The Most High sees what is being done in the dark. He sees the secret counsels that you may not be able to see. The things that you're not part of, you're not invited in, that we have no part in, secret councils and crafty matters, these things are always being known and recognized by Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. So he's the ultimate watchman, right? And if we understand that the Lord is our keeper, he's our strong tower and defense, and our shade, we hide ourselves under his shadow, right? And the Lord said, the sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The sun and the moon represent the knowledge and wisdom of these other nations and all of their devices that they propose against the children of the Lord, man. We're going to go into what they plan on doing, man. Everything that you see happening on the earth right now is leading up to Jacob's trouble and World War III. Those are major prophecies that are going to befall the earth. And the sun and the moon represent the affliction, right? That's going to be done by the understanding that was given to these other nations, chiefly Esau, right? Let's go to Psalms chapter 91. So we're going to keep watch and ultimately put our trust in the Most High. It's like in the Most High. And we're not fearful of what we see. You know, a lot of people are watching this world transform. They're seeing the Trump administration and people are scared. They're wondering what they should do. You got people crying, right? Celebrities crying, going live and are wondering how can they preserve their lives and their family lives, man? That's because they don't believe in the Most High. We have Yahweh. We have his son, Yahweh Shah. We have these records and these accounts. I mean, countless accounts of how Yahweh Bashmi Shah delivered our fathers in the days of old, right? Psalms 91:1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Now, on a spiritual level, the secret place is the word of Yahweh Bashmi Shah. Why is it called the secret place? Because it's only for the elect. This is only for a particular remnant of Israelites that the Heavenly Father has chosen from the foundation of the world. And although everybody has access to a Bible, everybody doesn't have access to the secret place, which is the understanding that comes from the word of the Most High, right? And then you're going to abide under the shadow of the Almighty, which means you're going to be protected from the affliction of the sun, right? I will say of Yahweh, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. It didn't say he might. He's going to have a strong chance. There's a high probability. It says surely, certainly, the Most High is going to deliver us from the traps and the devices that this society is setting up behind our back, man. That's the snare of the fowler. The snare are the traps and the agendas and the counsels and devices that Esau is proposing against the elect. And the fowler is the so-called white man. A fowler is a hunter. He's someone that catches birds, right? And we are likened unto the dove of the Most High and or the speckled bird. And he's looking to destroy and devour the bird of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua, right? So we have to keep watch, but ultimately when we're keeping watch, we understand that the Most High is the ultimate watcher. And what we're going to go into, this isn't something to be worried about or, you know, what do I do? We don't go into these current events and lives for fear mongering and to bring a spirit of discouragement amongst our people. This is to uplift you. Really, when we go into these current events, everybody should be excited, man. Like I always say, we live in exciting times. The Most High has people put in place to keep these prophecies rolling, man. These are beautiful times that you're living in, right? So let's dive right into it. So one of the first things we want to get into, this is from Daily Mail, right? Let me close that. It says FBI nuclear incident drill in New York amid fears of World War III, right? So you have the FBI, and what they're doing is what these other nations have already been doing, right? Russia, they've already been doing this. North Korea, they're already hit. Japan has done this years ago. They've even given out flyers and done public speeches to inform their citizens on how to deal with nuclear fallout and with the nuclear war. Now, America, they're beginning to do these drills. Now, they're moving in a clandestine fashion, some type of secretive fashion. They didn't put this out in public, man. You know, this wasn't on your local Fox News or your local CBS. You know, this wasn't on your CNN. But this is happening. I believe this is happening, they say, from the 26th to the 31st. Now, this article was published. What is this? This article was made today, right? Today, not too long ago, right? And this is not only is it on Daily Mail, but we also have it from their own site, man. Right? Large scale. Let me make sure the screen is showing. Right? Salaki, bear with me. Large. Oh, okay. Let me get the brother back here. Right? In this thing. Right? Salaki, bear with me. Shalom, King.
Shalom, King. How you feeling?
I'm all right. How you holding up?
Cool. All praise to the Most High.
All right, all praise to the Most High. All right, so going back into it. Now, this is from New York, Albany, right? I believe this is Albany. Large-scale nuclear training exercise to take place in Skenet. Boy, man, I think I'm decent with words. This is a tough one. Schenectady. Right? See that? What kind of name is that? Right? Schenectady, the water. Schenectady, New York, man. Right? It says public need not be alarmed. Now, again, you have to go find this, man. You know, they're not going to put this out there. People are watching Pop the Balloon 20v1. Hey, people were watching the NFL championship games, you know, and there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. A lot of the stuff that you see going on between the world of sports and what's going on with your favorite celebrity and what beef that they're involved in and what rap beef is going on and who did what in the world of black culture, all of that is a distraction, an illusion. And meanwhile, behind the scenes, you're not expecting Jake to go find this and look this up, man. Jake is high, right? They putting their money on the championship game. They're worried about what LeBron is going to do. Is he going to retire this year? And meanwhile, you have large-scale nuclear training exercises to take place in Schenectady, New York. Right now, this is in New York. Now, New York, it may just be a testing ground, and they may potentially already be doing this in other places, or they may not. Rather, they have it going on in LA, right? They have it going on in Houston, Miami, Dallas, Chicago, these major cities. Now, remember, this was years ago. Amos, I don't know if you remember when they was talking about the Jade Helm, but that was for that was like 2016, you know, when they had the Jade Helm exercises, when they were training for public, trying to find a word. It was trying to find a technical term. It was city warfare or city combat or something like that.
Con.
And I'm gonna read a little of this. It reads, from January 26th to January 31st, meaning even today, a large-scale multi-agency nuclear incident training exercise will take place in the vicinity of Schenectady, New York, and surrounding counties of Albany, Saratoga, and Schenectady. The training exercise will not pose any risk to area residents. The public does not need to be alarmed by training-related activity, including the presence of military personnel and aircraft and people in protective equipment. Now, anytime the government, let me get a quick precept. When they say you don't have to be alarmed, it's nothing to worry about, usually that means it's something going on that you're going to be affected by, right? And rather it's now or 5 months from now, man. You know, anytime Esau say don't worry about something, and well, why are you doing a nuclear drill? It's not as if you're going fishing, you know, you're cutting the grass. You're preparing for an event that will destroy hundreds of billions or millions of people. That's what a nuclear holocaust involves. So you're telling people not to be involved about the fact, or not to be worried about the fact that you're training for an event that if it did happen, could kill hundreds of millions of people, right? Let me get the classic. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed. So the Lord said, though he humble himself, is nothing to worry about. You know, we do this all the time. And you might see a guy with a hazmat suit on, you know, walking down your street. And you got people that live in Albany. That's the capital of New York, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not like they're doing this in the backwoods of God knows where. They're doing this in major cities. So if you live in Albany, New York, all of these cities that they named, you might see a guy with a hazmat suit on, huh? Marching with a rifle in his hand, going through your neighborhood. You know, the Lord said, though he humbled himself and say ain't nothing to worry about, he said, yet take good heed, meaning you better watch this event, man, and keep your eyes on these devils, and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. So you don't have to go for the okie doke. It doesn't mean that brothers should be, oh my God, what do I do? It just means that this devil, he has plans and motives. But you got it, King.
And you know, these things been going on for quite some time. And a lot of this, you know, they got those whistleblowers now.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why they wanted to get rid of TikTok. Right? Because TikTok got those people wanting to make a name for themselves. Even to the point where they're giving out United States information. Right? These things been going on for years. They had the not Dylan Roof, I can't remember the guy's name, who was living in Russia. And he got asylum.
Yep.
I can't remember his name. But even here in Baltimore, they had the Baltimore blimp. Right? They had a blimp that was in the sky, right, and it was surveying all of Maryland, right? All the easiest access points to attack, where people would hide at if they were to run from the city. Right? Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and 11. Right? These are the things that Esau is doing. Right? While Jake is so involved in sports, right? There's nothing wrong, you know, with having your leisure time and things of that nature, but you have to always be watchful. Your eyes should never be just fixated on one thing. You got to know what you should be occupied in prophecy. You should be understanding that Putin saying he wants to talk with Donald Trump to have peaceable talks, you know, and clear the air with this whole, Ukraine situation. You should know what happens when peace treaties start coming out. That should be the first thing on your mind, right? This 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse number 11. Least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So being in this truth, you can't be ignorant of anything that, you know, the so-called white man, the so-called Chinese man, Arab man, the Hamites, what they might do, right? A good boxer knows the moves of his enemies, right? They know what the enemy's going to do, right? Once he bring that shoulder in, he coming in with the left hook. We know that Esau is setting something up with all these military drills, with all these psyops, all these confusion, all these, what do they call it when they try to shut down a site, right? Blocking the information spread, right? We understand what Esau is doing. We're not ignorant of that. And any good fighter understands that your defense is your best weapon. And what's our defense? Being occupied in prophecy, looking to see what's going on, looking to see how the prophecies are fulfilling and how we should move in these last days while we approach the coming of the Lord. Right, but you got it, King.
God is right. And I want to go to Psalms chapter 64 real quick. Quick precept. This is Psalms chapter 64 and verse 1. Because these devils, again, they're thinking, Jake, you're worried about 2 weeks. You know, the most Jake minds go maybe 2 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe this check, maybe that check, and then maybe that check, right? But these devils, they're thinking, you know, 50 to 75 to 100, sometimes 200 years in advance, man, about what their agenda is and how they want to take this world and shift it to their new world order, right? So everything that they're doing, these devils are always plotting. Esau has been plotting. Didn't Esau say in Genesis, the 27th chapter, the days of mourning for my father at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob? Right? He's been plotting from well over 5,000 years ago, man. You know, he's been plotting. He said the days of mourning in Genesis 27:39 on down, the days of mourning for my father at hand. He said, I'm a mourn for Isaac, right? He's dead. But after that, my entire motive is to murder Jacob. So every agenda and every plot that they have, it is for their benefit and it's for the children of Israel's detriment, right? It says, hear my voice, O God, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, right? So there are secret councils going on as we speak. There are events where not even your president is invited to some of these councils. He's not the highest one up on the food chain, man. Hey, what we went into before, he's just a puppet king set up by these elites that really govern this world with the palm of their hands, you know? And there are events, and there are meetings, and there are dinners, and there are feast days, and there are sacrifices, and there are ceremonies and rituals and plots that are going on set. Like we have holy days, right? There's a set day. Hey, look, the new moon's coming up Wednesday night at sundown. Okay, we got Purim coming up at this day. You don't think these devils have days? These days are our think tank day. Here, this is our wicked feast day. Here's the date that we're going to remember the day that we captured the Israelites. They have councils and all of that, man. And David said, hide me from these things because these ideas are against us, right? That's what verse 3 tells you, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. So this is a warfare, but this is I used the word before, a clandestine warfare, a secretive warfare. Amos used the word psyop, psychological warfare. You know, they're shooting in secret. They're plotting and they're killing you in secret. And they're shooting arrows all in you, and they're getting all in your mind, man. And they're plotting against us. It says, suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in the evil manner. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? Because nobody really sees these snares that they're setting up. They get their society has given the masses of people what the Romans gave them, which is bread and circus. They give you the Grammys. They give you rap beef. They give you the world of sports. They give you weed. They give you dispensaries. They give you free liquor. And they give you pornography. They give you all of these things for free or at low cost to break your mind down. And they say, y'all, these Negroes ain't going to see nothing, man. They search out iniquities, meaning they figure out how to keep you in sin. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. So they're not thinking about how they're going to pay their rent, man. You think these devils are worried about their light bill? Those are the thoughts that we've been burdened with here in Babylon the Great. We have menial, low-level thoughts, right? About, oh man, I got to get gas in my car. Oh man, I got to make sure my gas is paid. These devils, their thoughts are deeper than that, right? They have thoughts that Jake has never even considered. And all of these thoughts that are deep meditations, they're meditations of wickedness, plotting against us as a people. But you got it, King. I'm going to go back to this after.
Let's go to Lamentations, right? Let's go to Lamentations, and I'm going to start at verse. I don't even know where I want to start at. Let's start at verse number. We'll start at 3.
Which chapter you want, King?
Lamentations 1 and 3. Salakia. Okay. I was jumping ahead of myself. You know, you get to reading something, then you start reading it a little more. But essentially, all these judgments are coming from the Most High, and the things that we're seeing, they're not things of old, right? Our enemies did this when they was building the wall. What did they do? They vexed us while we built the wall, right? We had to build the wall with swords, right? We had to have rotational teams set up on watch. While some men built the wall, some men stood posts, right? This is nothing new to us, right? It may be new in this era, but we're able to combat, these things that Satan is trying to do to us by looking at our forefathers and how they moved in these situations, right? How they understood, what to do when times got hot, right? Matter of fact, I'm going to jump to verse number 4. The ways of Zion do mourn, because none come to the solemn feast. All her gates are desolate. Her priests sighs. Her virgins are afflicted, and she is in bitterness. Her adversaries are the chief. Her enemies prosper, for the Lord have afflicted her. Right? So our enemies are prospering in this thing, man. They got the top technology, right? They got drones that can see through your house, count your heartbeats in a minute. Right? They had this thing back in the day. It was called the heart attack gun. Right? A heart attack gun. So they would shoot it at people and nobody would know, and it would look like somebody had a heart attack and died.
Yep.
Right? Our enemies are the chiefest, right? And not saying that they're higher than the Lord, but in this day and age, right, everybody's scared of Babylon the Great. Like everybody's scared of the artillery that Babylon the Great has stored up. Right? It was a time period called the Cold War. Right? And it was Russia and America, and they was having an arms race of nuclear weapons, right? Just in case nuclear warfare broke out. That artillery didn't just go away. That artillery isn't just sitting in the back of George Bush's ranch house, right? That artillery is still being used today, and they're dropping it on these smaller nations to see how it could be if they need to use it on a huge nation. Right? One of these mountains. For the multitude of her transgressions, her children are gone into captivity before the enemies. Right? So that's on a physical level, but even on a spiritual level. Right? Like we was talking about psychological warfare. Right? We got these YNs and these little harlots running out here. Right? Running around just being monstrous children. And we don't even understand how to move with them. Right? So we fighting the battle on the left-hand side, the right-hand side, before us and behind us. Right? Our enemies have truly destroyed our minds. Right? Because the strength of the young men, that's their glory. Our young men are too worried about smoking blunts with all type of ingredients. Right? All social media do is teach them how to get more high. Right? They had the thing where they were smoking the whippets.
Right.
Right? So we've gone to captivity spiritually and physically, man. We don't even understand how deep we're in this thing. How close we are to that button being pushed. Right? Jacob's trouble is coming. Right? It's going to be all out war in America before it's destroyed. Right? It's going to be sedition of people. It's going to be people running houses, kidnapping people, right? So it's best to understand that our sins are bringing this upon us. And it's best to understand that to be in the safe place that the brother was talking about earlier, you got to get right with the Lord. And getting right with the Lord isn't just praying 1 to 2 times a day, right? Watching your videos and being at work and chit-chatting around the water cooler, right? Being on fire for the Lord. So doing your own thoughts, right? Having a plan for your family, right? A lot of people don't think about that. A wise man foresees the evil and hides himself from it, right? Your family should know what happens if the cellular towers are cut off, right? If the electricity go out, right? And a lot of people don't think about that. I'm not going to rant too much longer, but when all hell break loose, who you think going to keep these lights on? You ever been in a city when it was pitch black? You can't see nothing. You're going to have noises everywhere, right? When I was younger, we was in New York, and they had that New York blackout, right? I've never seen anything that dark in my life. Even in tabernacles, we'd be in the woods, right? Them little flashlights don't do nothing. So you have to be able to be experienced, not just experience with doing the things, but experience with having a plan, right? You got to plan for these things and have your children know what to do when they come in and try to round you up or whatever the hell may happen. We don't know, but we do know that Esau is going to come down like a lion. But you got it, King.
Yeah, he's gonna come like a madman. And going back into this, he's going to come like a madman, sparing none, but still utterly and destroying, those that fear the Lord. So a little bit back on this, it says the Departments of Defense, the Department of Energy, and the National Nuclear Security Administration, FBI, and Department of Homeland Security, and state and local partners, right? Let's see, local police, local fire department, local hospitals, and what have you, man, right? National Guard. Everybody's involved in this. Isn't a small operation that they're doing. Will conduct the exercise in several areas of Schenectady and Albany, Saratoga, and Schenectady counties as part of a series of regularly scheduled U.S. government biannual exercises. Similar trainings have been conducted in various regions across the U.S. since 2012. So they start these trainings earlier, right? See, these doubles, there's every state, and I put this up, they have something called a mass fatality management plan, right? Like Amos said, you have to have a plan, right? You call upon Yahweh Shemiah Shai, and look, we're going to do this, whatever, right? And man's going to the Lord, but like the brother was saying, you gotta be prudent. Now, every state has a mass casualty, or it's actually a mass fatality management plan. In the event that there's a massive fatality event, whether it's by a nuclear war, whether it's by a disease, right, or rather it's by the military, there's already a plan that they put into place well over 20 plus years ago that they have to keep training the new recruits and the newer employees on, man. Because these guys are nothing but employees. This is their job, man. Every job has training that they do. You go to a job and you're down for a few weeks and they train you. They got computer-based training, hands-on training, hazard training, all of that stuff. So all these new guys in these military branches, they have to do this training, right? I'm gonna pull this up. This is and I put Maryland up. This is from FEMA, Managing Mass Fatalities, a toolkit for planning. So these doubles have already put into place. In your jurisdiction, you can find your states or your counties or your parish or your cities or your region. You can find their mass fatality plan, what they're going to do and how things are going to go down in the event that there's some orchestrated or unknown massive fatality going on, right? And they show everybody involved, right? Everybody involved in this thing. So healthcare institution, local government and authority, state and territory. Now, I pulled up, since we're here, the Maryland Mass Fatality Management, right? Now, it says Maryland Mass Fatality Management involves a number of agencies and organizations, including the Maryland State Funeral Directors Association. See that? The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, and the Maryland Department of Emergency Management, right? So they have 2-day mass fatality incident courses. And these devils know about mass fatalities, man, right? They orchestrate these things, like we said. They create these events. You don't think they had a plan put into place when they allegedly had the pestilence back in 2019? You don't think they already had what they're going to do, how many feet you have to be apart, when you're going to have to wear a mask, when you're not going to have, they already had that in place. But they made that guy, what's his name, Dr. Fauci. He was just the public puppet, if you will. He was the public warlock, to bear that burden. But behind the scenes, they already had this stuff put into place, man, to work on your minds, right? So you can look up. They got the framework for it, which we're really not going to go too deep into. But these devils, they have plans, man. Right? This is from 2012. Right? Now this says the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. I've never heard of mental hygiene. Right? I've never heard of mental hygiene. Now that could just be me. But they got this stuff, man. Look at this. There's a section on body recovery and collection, plan activation, right? Direction and control, transportation. So if you wanted to go to page 35, you can see what they're going to talk about, how to recover these bodies, which means they would have to have massive graves and FEMA camps and massive. I remember back in the day, they found the coffins. You know, they found those coffins way back when. I think they found them in Georgia or somewhere in Atlanta or something to that effect. Now, if you not to be long-winded, but I want to get another quick precept. Let's go to Job, right? Let's go to Job chapter 24. Right? This is Job chapter 24 and verse number 13. It reads, then it's speaking about the so-called white man. It don't have to say white man in there or Esau, because you got brothers saying, well, how do you know it says Esau? That could be it's talking about Esau, right? It reads, they are of those that rebel against the light. They know not the ways thereof, nor abide in the paths thereof. We abide in the light, and we walk in the light, which is the word of the Most High. It's true. Esau, he walks in darkness. The murderer, rising with the light, killeth the poor and needy, and in the night is as a thief. And he's the murderer, man. He's seeking to kill the poor and the needy. And he's a thief right now. A thief, and he's a master thief because he has yet to be caught. You watch America's Most Wanted. You got these shows. I almost got away with it, and all of these damn detective shows where you got these guys, they never get caught. Esau hasn't got caught yet, man. He's a master thief, and he's a master of disguise. Most thieves are also masters of disguise. They'll cut their damn fingerprints off. They'll shave their mustache. They'll gain weight. They'll put a mask on. You know, and they travel, man. And most thieves also, they don't stay in one place too long. Like Esau, he was in the Mount Seir, then the Caucasus Mountains, then he's in Western Europe, then he's in Australia, he's in America. So most thieves, that they're on the go, always running away from justice, the fugitive and the vagabond. It reads, the eye also of the adulterer waited for the twilight, saying, no eye shall see me, and disguiseth his face. So he believes nobody's going to see him, huh? He believes that he's going to get away with all of his plots and snares and plans that he has. He disguises his face because you don't know him as Esau. Now, I mean, we do. The public, the masses, they don't know him as Esau, as the beast, as the dragon, as the serpent. He disguises himself. To you, he's your local doctor. He's your local fire department guy. He's your local policeman, right? Who comes to your school and speaks about, stranger danger. He disguises himself, man. He's your doctor that gives your son a damn lollipop after he, checks him out, man. He disguises himself. He's your professor, right? He's your attorney to help you beat that case. He's your supervisor that gave you a raise. He's the French man. He's the German man. Right? He's what else this devil is? He's the white man. These are all different. Man. You said what?
He's the mailman.
Yeah, he's the mailman. And this guy's he's every damn body. Multiple identities at the same time. And you can't deal with nobody like that. He has all of these different personalities, like a madman. All these aliases that he goes by, all these different plots and agenda. He's a freaked out demon. And part of his disguise is you can't deal with him. You can't catch him. Hey, but the Most High put the spirit on us to catch him. I'm gonna read two more. It reads, in the dark they dig through houses, which they had marked for themselves in the daytime. They know not the light, for the morning is to them even as the shadow of death. If one know them, they are in the terrors of the shadow of death. So these devils fear being identified. That's what the Most High said, like in adultery. You catch a woman commit adultery when the sun is up, and she fears that. Nobody wants to get caught in adultery, right? Esau, he fears being identified as the beast and as the serpent. And that's why they hate these videos, man. They hate when we go into these lives and these breakdowns and we dive deep through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemir Rashad into what his plots and plans are and why he's created and who he truly is. And the Most High gives you his MO. Every thief or arsonist or murderer, they have a pattern of behavior. A lot of arsonists, they like to stand at the house and watch it burn, but they'll be in a crowd. You won't know who they are. That's their thing. Some murderers, they write a letter that manifest. Some guys, they chop a finger off. Every murder, they chop a finger off and keep it. You got to figure out who this guy is. The finger chopper murderer. Hey, Esau has an MO, man. He digs through houses, meaning he plots and plans. He disguises himself. He has agendas. And when we see, and that's why we can deduce when we see stuff like this, we're not the type to say, oh, it's just a training exercise. They say the public don't need to be alarmed, and we just go for it. Right? We know who this devil is, man. From the time of old, the Most High has revealed to us who this devil is. So all these trainings they have going on, nuclear trainings and this mass body recovery and collection plan, all of this goes into World War III and Jacob's Trouble. Right? Mass fatality management plan. What you got it, King?
God. And, to let me back on what you said, man, Esau is everything but their true identity, man.
Right.
Everything but their true identity. They got, Tom Cruise was the last samurai.
Right.
Right. When the hell you ever seen a samurai in Japan? Right? Brad Pitt, I think he was the Mexican.
Yep.
Right, Esau just they got a identity complex, man. They have that identity complex where they can't accept that their forefathers are the most wicked people to ever walk on the earth, man.
Right.
And this goes back thousands and thousands of years. Even during the Dark Ages, on the western part of Europe when they had those plagues, right? This is the same thing that they had going on then, right? Can you bring up the mask of Dr. Death? I think that's his name. The thing with the long nose.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. The mask from the plague.
Yeah, from the plague. I think that's what it is. Dr. Death or something. Right, they had these things orchestrated since the beginning of time, man. Right, the plague doctor. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Right, so these doctors would come to your house when the plague was going on, and they would wear that over their face. But every time that doctor came to your house, the person was dead the next day.
Right.
Right, that's Esau, man. Esau always shows their face, and next thing you know, all hell break loose. Right? Look what happened in the Middle East with Gaddafi. Or not the Middle East, Northern Africa with Gaddafi.
Yep.
Right? They go over there talking about you can't build your own centralized Africa. And next thing you know, he's dead, man. So Esau's true face is behind this mask of death. Right? Let's go to Nehemiah chapter 6 and verse number 1. Right? It says, now it came to pass when Sanballat and Tobiah and Geshem, the Arabian, and the rest of our enemies heard that I had built the wall and that there was no breach left therein, thought at that time I had set up the doors upon the gates, that Sanballat and Geshem sent unto me, saying, come, let us meet together in some of the villages in the plain of Onan, but they thought to do me mischief. Right? So when these times are coming, a lot of these people are going to sell out and think that Esau is trying to help them out. Right? They're going to, let me go ahead and follow what Esau is saying. Right? Esau knows best. He protected me from the plague that came. Right? He allowed me to get a loan to take care of my house. They're not meeting up with you to do you good. They're looking to do mischief with you. Right? They're looking to hinder the work of the Lord. That's why YouTube channels are getting shut down left and right.
Right.
Right? Because it's too much knowledge coming out. Right? And they're writing laws and things to stop that, man. There's no what has TikTok done that's causing mass hysteria with the government? Right? They know it's deeper than that, man, because there's some truth to it. Nobody nobody hates a lie. Everybody, or nobody, how I want to put it,
Everybody
nobody
hates
wants to
the truth.
stop a lie as much as they want to stop the truth.
Right.
Right? Lies are comely to the enemy, but truth is bittersweet, man. It's like eating this roll. Right? It's beautiful to find out you're an Israelite, but when you get deeper, it gets a little panicky a little bit. But that's the same thing with this truth. It's the same thing with Esau. Right? It's so many whistleblowers, there's so many calling them out on the things that they're doing. Now they're starting to get a little worried. Now they're trying to heat things up, man. They think they have control over the times, and not knowing that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is putting it in their spirit to act like that. Right, verse number 3. And I sent messages unto them saying, I am doing great works, so that I cannot come down. Why should the work cease while I leave it and come down to you? Yet they sent unto me 4 times after this sort, and I answered them after the same matter. Then Sanballat sent, or his servant sent unto me in like manner the 5th time, with an open letter in hand wherein was written, it is reported among the heathen, and Geshem was saying that thou and the Jews think to rebel. Right? So Trump is already starting to do that, man. He's starting to see that the so-called Native Americans and the so-called Hispanics and the so-called black men are posing a greater threat to the white society that is called America. Right? Nobody wants to be out in the field picking strawberries, right? But it's threatening Esau's jobs. So what are they doing? They're trying to deport them, man. What jurisdiction does the ICE agency actually really have? Right? They can come into your house and snatch you up and say whatever the hell they want to say. So they're saying that this is in the ancient world that they were trying to rebel. They thought we were trying to rebel or trying to cause mischief and trying to get things riled up. That's the same thing that's going on in these days and age, man. It's that mischief that they're trying to spark up. We're the true threat to American society, right? The KKK isn't the problem, right? The police officer who murders our children isn't the problem, right? These Allstate who took all those people's insurance policies isn't the problem. The servants of the Lord and those who fear the Lord is the problem, right? That's why Second Esdras, the 16th chapter, is going to be a great insurrection of those who fear the Lord. And that's what you're seeing now. That great insurrection is starting to heat up. They're starting to look at ways to persecute people for teaching the word. They're starting to look at ways to how to formulate laws and put things in place to get us jammed up. But you can't be ignorant of the things that Esau is doing. That's why the scriptures say, watch. If you're not watching, then what the hell are you doing? Right. You caught up in the madness like everybody else. But you got it, King.
You're right. And kind of going into that now we go to the SPLC all the time, right? Well, we touched on it a few times. Now, if you've been watching, you see how before, and they got the ISPK right here, right? But you see, before we used to be called on the Southern Poverty Law Center, Black identity extremists, right? We were Black identity extremists, and we were under general hate, right? They still have us under general hate. Now they changed our name to Radical Hebrew Israelites, man, right? And this is newer. A few years ago, they didn't identify us as Radical Hebrew Israelites, man. We were Black identity extremists, or we were there's another name they gave us, caught, or hate, just a regular hate group. But now you see how these devils are working mischief, and they didn't do a public announcement and say, okay, everybody want to change their name of the Hebrew Israelites to Radical Hebrew Israelites. Now you look up the definition. Put up the definition of radical, right? And what have the Israelites done that's radical, man? Right? So radical, let's see, it reads a person, let's see, they got a few definitions. All right, it reads advocating or based on thorough or complete political or social change, representing or supporting an extreme or progressive section of a political party. Now, with that definition, you could say that every Israelite that they identify as a radical Hebrew Israelite is a domestic terrorist, and or they're looking to start an insurrection, like Amos was saying, or they're looking to commit treason. Because they're saying that now there's a political party, per their definition. Now, this may not be the law definition, but per their definition, they would call us a political party, right? A person who advocates thorough or, now check this out, or complete political or social reform. So they're passing these laws like they eliminated DEI, diversity, what is that? Diversity, is that equity and inclusion? Something along those lines, equality and inclusion. They're eliminating, if you are a transformer, right? They're passing all these executive orders and all of these laws. And at the same time, they're pushing laws where the Israelites are going to be caught up and targeted. You know, it says a person who advocates selected thorough or complete political or social reform, a member of a party, a political party, or part of a party pursuing such aims, right? A zealot, these are synonyms, right? Militant, revolutionary, progressive, leftist, left-winger, you know? So any given day, this devil, he'll pass a law that says any extremists, any left-wingers, anybody that's what's what I'm looking for, progressive and against America, we have to get them. We have to round them up. We're coming after all of the radical Hebrew Israelites. So they didn't accidentally change this. This wasn't an accident. This is part of their plots. You know, part of their plans, man. Right? So why change it? Right? So I'm gonna jump down. It reads, the SPLC, which is the Southern Poverty Law Center, uses the term radical Hebrew Israelite to differentiate from the greater Hebrew Israelite faith. So your radical Hebrew Israelites are you brothers that are out there at camp, shaking the hand, condemning the society, which is biblical, prophesying the end of this world, and waking up the elect of Israel. You are now a radical Hebrew Israelite, and you're different than the rest of the Hebrew Israelites. Because you got different types of Hebrew Israelites, man. You got the Yeshuas and the Yahuwahs, right? You got the Israelites that believe all nations could be saved. You got OT only Israelites. You got you got Israelites that believe you can smoke weed. You got Israelites that got the so-called white man in the congregation. You got Israelites that read 1,000 books. So they're trying to. We've grown so much into this knowledge. They're putting a divide between radical Hebrew Israelites and just the rest of them. It reads, Hebrew Israelites should not be confused with Black Jews, and this is madness, or Jewish individuals of color. SPLC no longer refers to these groups as solely Black Hebrew Israelites, as there are Latin and indigenous members of these groups, and there are non-radical sects of the Hebrew Israelite faith who identify as Black Hebrew Israelites. You see that? So either you're as of today, you're either a non-radical Hebrew Israelite or you're a radical Hebrew Israelite. And what they call One West, the brothers that are out there doing the work, the majority of the camps out there, you're now a radical Hebrew Israelite. And you're not like the rest of the BHI, or what they call BHI. Brothers call us BHI, right? Hey, look, now brothers, you have to say, well, look, we're radical Hebrew Israelites. That's what they call us. Now, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but, you know, if you want to read this on your own, it's on the SPLC. This goes into them further pushing their plots and agendas. You know, you see how it's all linking up, all of the laws that they're trying to enforce, all of the secret training that they're doing for martial law and World War III, passing agendas and switching names, and all of this is going to lead down the road to Jacob's trouble, man, and World War III. I'm going to get one quick precept. I want to go to Job chapter 15 and 20. Right? This is Job chapter 15 and verse 20. The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor, right? The oppressor is the so-called white man, right? He knows he's going to go down, but he doesn't know when. Those years are hidden. He doesn't have a set year on when his kingdom is going to collapse. A dreadful sound is in his ears, and prosperity, the destroyer, shall come upon him. So there's a dreadful sound in a so-called white man's ears, man, which is what these prophecies, these breakdowns. Every time you say Kwam Yasha'Allah and these Edomites hear it, their ears bleed, man. They're losing their mind. Every time there's a lie, every time there's a cap, every time there's a breakdown, every time there's a family they see and the family's in order, they hate hearing those things. And if there's an Edomite watching this right now, and he's pissed off, man. And you got elites that watch these channels. You don't think these elites ever watch the live? I'm talking about these upper echelon Edomites. They know about the YouTube channels. They know brothers by name. You know? They know what spirit brothers move in. They're in cahoots with these demons and these spiritual forces, man. So every time they hear the prophecies in the end of this world, it damn breaks their mind down because they know that what we're pushing out is the truth. Therefore, they put these laws out there, secret laws, to try to hinder this word from going out. It reads, in prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is weighted for of the sword. So he knows deep down that this won't last forever. He wandereth abroad for bread, saying, where is it? He knoweth that the day of darkness is ready at his hand. He's watching the Israelites wake up. Huh? He's studying the YouTube analytics. He goes on all of the channels. He sees how many people are on their lives. He sees how many fringes are being bought. He sees how many head wraps are being bought. He watches the sales, operations, the supply chain. He's looking at YouTube, the analytics. He's seeing all of these Israelites buy things. He studies that, wake up to the knowledge, have YouTube accounts, who subscribe to what, who does this. He studies all of that. That's Ezekiel 28:3. There's no secret that you can hide from him. And he knows that the day of darkness is ready at his hand. You know, that's why they put this man in office by the Spirit of the Most High to push the envelope, man, and keep this ball rolling to expedite Jacob's trouble. Right? But you got it, King.
Ryan said he's backstage.
Okay.
Con, that's the
Shalom,
truth.
Kings.
Shalom, King. Right. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 10 and verse number 1. Right. It says, woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievous which they have prescribed. Right. So the Lord got something for those who write these grievous decrees, man. That's Isaiah the 13th chapter. You know, we giving so much hell, you know, through the Spirit of the Lord. All these camps on the four corners of the earth, they going to the gates of the nobles. They getting nervous, man. You can't come to the harbor and have a good time anymore. Right? We talking about you. We talking about your kids. We talking about your forefathers, your foremothers. So what are they doing? They writing letters. Right? They getting things in place to essentially have us exiled out of Rome again. Like how they did in the book of Acts in the 18th chapter. Right? That was like 50 AD, I believe. Right, where they expelled all the Jews because it was too much of a commotion. It was too much hell going on, man. Brothers was so on fire and zealous, they was cutting everybody up, and they have no choice but to try to expel them. So that's the same thing that's going to come to Babylon the Great. Right, they're going to be kicking us out of our houses. Right, let's get that in Second Esdras. Well, I'm going to finish this and we're going to go to Second Esdras 16. Right, it says, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. Right? So all these laws that they're putting out, right? All these decrees, all these Southern Poverty Law Center pages, right? Those people who want to combat the Israelites, all they're doing is trying to turn away us from the Father and turn away, you know, the widows and the fatherless and use them as prey, man. Because those are the people who need us the most. The ones who have a broken spirit and a contrite heart, man. The Most High set up prophets, teachers, and evangelists to help restore those people who are low. That's the sole purpose. So Esau sees these things and they're trying to take it away, right? They're trying to cast it down little by little by little. Eventually, it's going to be against the law to go out and read the Bible at all. That's when the teacher's going to be removed from a corner, right? These things weren't written just to be written as a novel, right? These things were written because the Father gave these people the eyes to see what's coming in the last days, right? Let's go to 2nd Esdras 16, right? 2nd Esdras 16, and I want to start at, I want to say 62. So like I'm trying to bring it up now in my Bible. So like I'm trying to find it, but you got it right. I'm gonna come back to it.
Con. Yeah, I wanted to get the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, and verse number 12. So like brothers is bringing out, man, these elites, they know exactly who brothers are, right? And these things are prophesied from old, right? It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, and verse 12 says, wherefore it shall come to pass that when the Lord have performed his whole work upon Mount Zion and on Jerusalem, I will punish the fruit of the snout heart of the king of Assyria. So the Most High has given us, you understand, over the slavery, bondage, death, and destruction, that we may learn and repent. And after these days are up, it says, and glory of his high looks, for he saith, by the strength of my hand I have done it. And that's what these elites say. That's what Donald Trump says. Like the brother just brought out in Isaiah the 10th chapter, verse 10 and verse 1 all the way down, right, with the stroke of the pen, with all of these government laws and these things being pushed to pass, that's pushing him out on a high level in his mind. Said, by the strength of my hand have I done it, and by my wisdom, for I am prudent, and I have removed the bounds of the people, right? Whether that be putting you in jail, whether it be taking you away with CPS, your children, locking you up, putting you in slavery. He says by his strength and his mind, he has removed the people and the bounds. It says, and I have robbed their treasures, and I have put down the inhabitants like a valiant man. And that's what he thinks, man. Every single time he's in those warships, those vehicles, he's in those helicopters, those planes, right? And he's conjuring up missiles and all of these different ICBM tactics to destroy whole landmass and cities. That's what he thinks in his mind, man, that I'm a valiant man. It says, and I have robbed their treasures, and I have put down the inhabitants like a valiant man. See, and the Most High is going to humble all of the high looks, right? I want to jump down to verse, right, number 15. It says, shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth it? Right, meaning what? An axe is useless unless a man picks it up. Right, a machine is useless unless it has electricity, unless all of the wires are connected. Meaning these things that the elites have are useless. I guess the Most High gives them the power to use it. It says, or shall the saw magnify itself against him that shaketh it? It says, as the rod should shake itself against them that lift it up. Or as if the staff should lift up itself, as there were no wood. Therefore saith the Lord of hosts, send among his fat ones leanness, and under his glory he shall kindle a burning like the burning of a fire, and the light of Israel shall be for a fire. So the Most High is going to turn us up in the last days, man. That's physically. The Most High is going to turn up your spirit. The Most High is going to fill you with vengeance, wrath according to his will, with wisdom, knowledge. He's going to have you shaking the hand. He's going to have you prophesy in your sleep. It says, and his Holy One for a flame. Meaning the Most High on the head of you, right? And it shall burn and devour his thorns and his briars in one day. So that's why these elites are scared, man. Because once that fire gets kindled through the hearts of the elect, right, and we're sealed, all vengeance and hell was going to come upon the earth. Brothers got it.
Amos, you want that back in 2nd Esdras 16?
Come, let's go to 67. Right, verse number 67. And it reads, behold, God himself, Yahweh himself is the judge. Fear him, leave off from your sins and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall Yahweh lead you forth and deliver you from trouble. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. Right? So that multitude is being kindled and burdened and boiled up right before our eyes, like the brother Ryan was saying. Right? The Lord is sprinkling not only his fury upon the heathen, but it's going to happen with us too. Right? He's going to turn everything up 1,000 times hotter. And they that consent unto them shall be in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. Right? So those who consent unto the things and they don't trust in the Lord, that the Lord will deliver them out of trouble, they're going to be in derision. Right? Their mind is going to be bugged the hell out. They're not going to know what to do. Right? The scriptures say, woe unto him that maketh flesh his arm. Right? That arm isn't going to protect you from the arm of the Lord. Right? That Space Force isn't going to stop anything. Right? You think the Lord gives a damn about a decree written by a white man who's 85 and can barely stand up, wearing a robe? Right? He's going to laugh at that. He's going to mock that. Right? For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Right? It's going to be a great insurrection. Right? It's going to be all hell breaking loose against those who fear the Lord. And that's going to be the real test to see who truly fears the Lord. Right? Those who fear the Lord are going to be catching the most hell. You're going to be tried like gold is tried in the fire. Right? And there's going to be people who are going to cop pleas. There's a lot of people who may be out on the highways and byways rebuking now. But the Lord going to say, depart from me. I never knew thee. Because your heart truly wasn't in it. When the times got hot, you look for ice cold water. Right? Instead of turning into the Lord. Right? They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So even after they got their fix of bloodshed, they're going to be looking for more bloodshed, man. Their hands are always defiled. So it's going to be no stopping Esau when this time comes, man. Right? They thought all that blood that was shed in, 1776? Right? That's not even going to be half the blood that's going to be shed in Babylon the Great. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Right? And this is the point right here. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Then it's going to be known who the Lord's chosen are. Right? Then it's going to be known. They didn't persecute Yahushua because everybody loved him. Right? The little children were sitting on his lap. Right? He was giving people bread and fish, just throwing parties everywhere. No, they wanted to kill the Lord because he spoke the things that the prophets nowadays speak, but on a 10 times heavier fold. Right? They're going to try to give us the same judgment that they gave all the prophets before. Right? You know who's going to be leading the charge? Your Reverend Al Sharptons. Right? Your Bishop T.D. Jakes. Who else? Creflo Dollars.
Right.
Tyler Perry. They're going to be the ones leading the charge, man. Because we're interrupting their money flow. Right? But if you truly fear the Lord, you're going to be tried in those days. Everything is going to be snatched from you. And you're going to have nothing else but faith in the Lord. But you got it, King.
And I want to go into land me back in on that. This is from End Time Headlines. The EU is attempting to clamp down on free speech in the US to what they say protect democracy, right? So the EU, way out there, this shows that this is the same beast. For the European Union to try to clamp down on what's going on in Babylon the Great, shows that this kingdom is one, man. Right? The Lord said in Revelation, the 17th chapter, that they shall give their kingdom to the beast for 1 hour, greatly paraphrasing. So the EU, United States, NATO, they're all moving in that same spirit, man. Right? They're all moving in the same spirit. So I want to touch on this real quick. It reads, the EU introduced fresh measures this week to limit American speech on social media platforms, claiming the move is needed to protect democracy. Now, what speech are they giving, man? I thought democracy was the backbone of the Constitution. And I thought the Constitution, you had freedom of speech. So what they're trying to protect is not democracy. What they're really trying to protect is the minds of the people from being influenced from the knowledge, these whistleblowers, and the understanding of Yahweh Shemiah Shai. That's what they're trying to protect. They're losing control on the sheeple that they have spent hundreds of years and billions of dollars to capture, man. And that yoke is getting rusty, that chain is getting loose, and people are kind of breaking free. No slave master is looking for their slaves to be set free, man. They send the dogs after you, and they go through, what did this devil go through, man, to keep us in slavery? Crafty counsels and plans and hundreds of years. Hey, but now you have this speech, which is the word of the Most High, that they're trying to hinder, right? It reads, and it's mainly coming out of Babylon the Great. That's what they're saying, American speech. They're not talking about I don't know who these sports reporters and your local mayor. The American speech is coming from the Hebrew Israelites. That's where it's coming from. And you got the spirit in these other nations, man. You know, it reads, EU lawmakers say the initiative targets foreign interference and illegal content, but it's raising concerns among free speech advocates in the United States. EU officials intensified the enforcement of the Digital Services Act at a parliamentary session this week, claiming it's aimed at countering what they call foreign interference and hate speech on social media platforms. Legal advocacy group ADF International said in a statement. You see that? So they're looking to put this place down, man. They're looking to shut down all lives, all YouTube channels, all shorts that brothers have, all your social media platforms. Rather, you got Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, what they formerly called Twitter. They're looking to shut all that down, man. Because even EU, they said, look, y'all can't control them out there. We don't want that spreading over here. It's enough that these Americans are corrupted, man, and everybody's ready to overthrow the society. We don't want that in EU. We got enough problems going on. So they're trying to limit what is being pushed in Babylon the Great over there, right? Let me get this precept. But you can't limit it, man. You can't stop this word from going out. The Lord said in Matthew, let me get a quick precept, Matthew, the 24th chapter. It's prophecy. This is prophecy that the word is going to go out. Matthew 24:14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So the end ain't going to come until this word is out there, man. It's not a damn thing these devils are going to be able to do because it's too late already. It's too late. Major YouTube channels receive views from European countries at a high level, man. You know, the Netherlands, Belgium, England, Germany. You got brothers in Germany doing the work, man. So they see what's going on. They see the camps spreading in Europe. They see the camps spreading in Europe. You got brothers in Spain doing the work. You got brothers in Italy doing the work. And it said the EU was like, look, man, y'all got that madness, that spirit of Yahweh Shemiah Shai. We don't want that over here. We love the darkness. It's getting too bright. But it's prophecy that this word is going to go out on a high level into all nations, and then the end is going to come, right? So we're glad to see stuff like this, man. Right? When they put missing, this is from the World Economic Forum, right? It says misinformation and disinformation are our most pressing risk, says World Economic Forum. They didn't say murderers, child molesters, pedophiles, arsonists, gangbangers, drug dealers, all of the worst criminals on the earth. They say misinformation and disinformation are the most pressing risk. This is what the world leaders have said, right? World leaders, business chiefs, and civil society organizations We'll discuss risk posed by misinformation, disinformation, and artificial intelligence at the World Economic Forum. And one more point, this is hypocrisy because all that Esau has put out there has been nothing but misinformation. Calling us Negro, he's still calling us black people and African Americans. That's misinformation, right? He's still telling you that the Big Bang created the heavens and the earth. That's disinformation. So this is absolute hypocrisy from this devil, right? But brothers got it. We'll dive a little into this.
Con. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 3 and verse number 1. Right? And for all you brothers out there that call yourself teachers, you know, and all you brothers that read and do the work of the Most High, pass out flyers and set your hand to the plow, you can't be shaken in those days, man. Right? This is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 3 and verse 1. And the child Samuel ministered unto the Lord before Eli, and the word of the Lord was precious in those days. There was no open vision. So, I mean, the Most High doesn't just water the earth all the time. There are times, you understand, where the Most High takes away the word. You can read about that in Ezekiel, the 7th chapter, 2nd Esdras, the 5th chapter, right? 1 Samuel, the 3rd chapter. So this word, Matthew, the 25th chapter, right? With the parable of the 10 virgins. You better get this. That's why the Lord says, seek ye the word, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. So while this word is going out,
right, and
it's going throughout the four corners of the earth, it's high time while the Most High is watering the earth, giving you prophecy, breakdowns. I mean, brothers have at the click of a button almost infinite amount of libraries at their fingertips, man. See, in the ancient world, they had the library, you understand, of Alexandria in Egypt with all the hundreds of thousands of scrolls. Men were traveling up to read, and you had men going to the synagogues to learn. All you have to do is open a laptop, a phone, go outside. You see the men of the Lord on the highways and byways throughout the four corners of the earth. So this truth is easily accessible. It's at your fingertips. There's no excuse if you call yourself an Israelite in this truth not to be getting watered and grown into perfection before the door closes. Right? I'm going to get one more real fast. In 2nd Esdras chapter 5 and verse number 9. And once this word is soaked up, right, you either have it or you don't. It's the book of 2nd Esdras chapter 5 and verse number 9. It says, and salt water should be found in a sweet, and all friends should destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, right, meaning wisdom, and understanding withdraw itself into its secret chamber. So the Most High is going to take away wisdom from the earth at a set point when the elect is sealed. Why? Because after the elect is sealed, there's no business nor reason to have the parables and prophecy throughout the earth, because the word's going to go out to whom it's fit. It's going to get water to this brother over here in Mexico, water to this sister in Puerto Rico. It's going to get water to this brother in London. Once that word is spread throughout the four corners of the earth, the Lord is going to withdraw that, seal up the chambers, and death and destruction is going to be upon the earth. It says, and shall be sought of many, right? And that's a lot of you brothers that may have hopped on the live, hopped off, right? You seasonal Israelites that only want to come and do the work when it's sunny outside, right? When it's 80 degrees, when it's a feast day, right? When brothers throwing something on the grill. It says, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and inconsistency be multiplied upon the earth. Right, you're going to have more deaths, more shootouts, right, more insurrections, right? These things are going to kick up, and the only way you can prepare yourself is by fearing the Most High and keeping these commandments and the faith in the Lord. That's why it's pivotal to keep watch, that you may understand how close you are entering into these days. Brothers got it.
God. And to let me back off that point, right? The more you have idle time and you do the things of this world, the less likely you are to fear Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? Because Esau feels like they sit in the power seat of God. They're the ones who can tell you can live. They're the ones who tell you that it's okay to pull the plug. We'll just harvest his organs and give it to somebody else.
Right.
Right. Your fear of the Lord diminishes more and more and more as you step away from the Bible, as you step away from brothers and sisters who strive for perfection. And that's where you start to get the learned wisdom of Esau. You start to speak like an Edomite. Right? Us three brothers have seen it countless times over and over Brothers who was on fire, who had the understanding, they diminished little by little by little, and now they're not even really in the truth. Right? So if you don't fear the Lord, you got the hands of the most unrighteous rulers. Right? As it says in the songs of the three holy children, the lawless enemies. Right? The most lawless, the scriptures say. But let's go to Ezekiel chapter 28. We're going to start at verse 2. It reads, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am God, I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not God, though thou set thy heart as the heart of God, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel, there is no secret that they can hide from thee. Right, so Esau's just getting more puffed up and puffed up and puffed up. Right, they got this AI stuff. Right, we be at camp sometimes looking at ourselves up on this AI stuff and be marveled at the stuff we find. Like, we like, how the hell they even know that? They give you your address. They give you your actual government name when you type in your Hebrew name. Right, so they think that they're the Most High. They think that all the understanding they have, all the wisdom, all the infinite riches they got, right, they think that makes them untouchable. Right? But all this understanding and wisdom that they're storing up, these other nations are looking at that too, preparing to bring down Babylon the Great, preparing to bring down the great Satan, as they call him.
Right.
Right? Esau doesn't realize that they fighting enemies on 8 different sides, but the sole focus is on the prophets and the men and women of the Lord. Right? They're fearful of the uprising of the so-called black homes, of the so-called Hispanic homes. Right? They're fearful of these things because they know what that brings, because it's strength in numbers. Right? I'm gonna read on with this. Verse number 4. With thy wisdom and with thy understanding, thou hast gotten the riches. Right? So the IRS, that tax system that they have, they just garnishing more riches to themselves. Right? And I think I just saw something. It said Trump is going to shut down the income taxes. Right? And you know, income tax is a big time for Jake.
Right.
You know, you get an extra $2,000 to $4,000 in your pocket. Right? That's life-changing money for some people.
Yeah.
You know, so Trump is going to shut that down. Right? But through all those infinite riches, they've been taxing and robbing, you know, brothers and sisters' pockets left and right. And with thy understanding, thou has gotten riches, it has gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic has thou increased thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Right? Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, because thou hast set thy heart as the heart of God, behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. Right? So Esau knows that the Most High is stirring up the nations to come against her. Right? Babylon the Great knows her time is but short. Right? That's why they always playing these war videos. What would happen if China and America was at war? What would happen if Russia and America was at war? Who would win World War III? Right? Nobody thinks about stuff like that unless they know that their time is coming to an end. So all that infinite wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that they got, they may be wiser than Daniel, but you're not wiser than the Most High. You playing checkers. The Lord playing chess. Then what was the thing? Mancala, y'all remember that game?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he's playing all that while they sitting there being fooled, thinking that they're on top of the world. So we're seeing these things blow up in their face. Right? All that silver and gold is being stored up for the elect. Right? All these riches is being stored up for the ones who truly serve the Lord. So one day it's gonna come to the point where Esau will never see a dollar bill again, man. And I can't wait to that day. I can't wait to the day when we see the ones who call themselves God be sitting in the dust how we was sitting in the dust and licking up the dust of our feet. But you got it, King.
Yeah, and that's why they hastening this stuff, man. They're hastening this They're shut down. And they're doing it through laws. The Lord said in the classic, they frame mischief by law in Psalms 94, man. Right? Psalms 94, let me just get that in 20. Right? Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee? Right? It's like a quick precept. This Psalms 94. So they're trying to prolong their kingdom through the passing of wicked laws. Right? This Psalms chapter 94 and verse number 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? Right? So they're not going to come out and say, hey, look, we're being mischievous. They're going to do it through laws, legislation, and counsel, like the brothers are saying, man. And the throne of iniquity is this kingdom, right? This is the lady or the lady or daughter of Babylon who sits as a queen saying, I shall see no sorrow. The Lord said we shouldn't have fellowship with this society because everything that they put out there is mischief, and they back it up through their laws. They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. But Yahweh is my defense, and my God is the rock of my refuge. I want to get another one real quick in Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, right? This Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, and verse number 10. These are the thoughts of the wicked when you read this 2nd chapter, right? The thoughts of the ungodly. Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 10. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the aged. And if you ever wanted to know the psyche of the so-called white man and how he thinks about you, the Most High breaks it down in this chapter. You don't have to wonder, does he really love me? Does he like me? Does he have my best interest at heart? How does the so-called white man feel about me? Just read the 2nd chapter. They said, we're going to oppress you, right? And show no mercy. It reads, let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. What does that mean? It means they think you're nothing, you're worth nothing, and therefore we're going to use the laws and our government to be our strength, right? They're going to use the laws and the society to strengthen themselves to destroy us, man. Right? That's what this whole thing is about with this misinformation and disinformation are our most pressing risk. And it's madness, it's mind-blowing because you have men, you have on one hand, you have the National Association for Man-Boy Love going on right now, right? You have the Catholic priests who are molesting children by the thousands every month. You have child molesters on the loose. You have wicked men, all murderers all throughout the earth. And then you would think that that's the most pressing risk, right? To a society that allegedly fears God, who has it stapled all in their money and currency. But no, this truth is the most pressing risk, man. These devils are worried about the spirit. They know about spiritual things, right? They know about the minds of the people. It reads, I'm going to jump down on this article. It reads, misinformation and disinformation pose the greatest risk to countries, businesses, and individuals over the next 2 years. And they got 2 years. The rise of fake news, the decline of fact-checking on social media, and the growth of deep fakes generated by AI threaten to erode trust and deepen divisions between countries, the World Economic Forum says. Right? So they worried about this stuff, man. Right? Look at this. This is global risk ranked by severity. Number one is misinformation and disinformation. Then it's extreme weather events, state-based armed conflict, societal polarization, cyber espionage and warfare, pollution, inequality, involuntary migration or displacement, and geoeconomic confrontation, right? But number one, the world number one threat should say the Hebrew Israelites, man. It should say the Hebrew Israelites. Like the prophet, the king, was that King Ahab? He said, I hate Micaiah, the prophet, because he always tells me that's what's good, man. And that's what they're doing to us. They say that they hate that we're pushing this good out, this knowledge and this understanding. And that king, he smoked Micaiah, man. You know, and tried to kill him. And if Jehoshaphat wasn't there through the spirit of the Most High, you can read that in First Kings 22, Second Chronicles 18. If Jehoshaphat wasn't there, they would have killed that prophet. Right? So you got to be mindful of how serious this devil takes what we do. The brothers got it.
Con. Let's go to the mighty book of Psalms, chapter 73, right? And verse number 8. Psalms chapter 73 and verse number 8. Right? And it reads, says, they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. Meaning they don't care. You'll call 1,000 times to the police and they may hung up on you, man. They may show up a day late. They may send a squad car by just to drive by with the sirens on, but hop out and do no justice. Right? They speak wickedly concerning oppression. You think they're writing up laws and decrees to help you? Right? It's been hundreds and hundreds of years of the same oppression, but yet Jake thinks things are going to change. Right? No devil put in office is going to change anything that's going on. It says they speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens, meaning they go against the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. They throw up curses upon the elect, right? And they're doing mischief. They set their mouth, right, against the Most High. It's not necessarily just saying they're just cursing out the Most High. To set your mouth against the heavens is the whole society of America. Every law, decree, and thing that they're writing up is against the laws of God. So they speak against the heavens. It says, in their tongue walketh through the earth. What walks through the earth? Laws, decrees, things being formed all the way to California, all the way to New York City. These things walk throughout the earth. So as these laws start to get passed and Trump and these elites start to kick up and these bills start going out, our brothers got to get on their stuff, man. Brothers got to really be on fire. And when I say be on fire, I don't mean just read 10 chapters a day. Being on fire is an undescribable feeling and a connection with you and the Most High, and something you got to be ready to die for, man. See, being on fire isn't what man tells you it is, man. It's what the Most High told you that you ought to walk in. And a lot of brothers don't walk in that spirit, man. See, when I want to get a quick precept in Acts, right? Acts chapter 7. See, when Stephen was about to give up the ghost, right? You could start at verse number 52. Right? This is the book, right? Acts chapter 7 and verse 52. It says, which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted? And they have slain them which shewed before of the coming of the just one, of whom ye have been now, and betrayers and murderers, who have received the law by the dispensation of the angels, and have not kept it. When they heard these things, they were cut to the heart. Yeah, this is our people, but this is twofold, man. See, when these demons, they hear these words, they get cut to the heart, man. Their society's not going to continue for another 103,000 years, right? All of these things are coming to naught. Everything they've built up through the backs of our fathers is going to all be taken from them. It says, and they gash on them with their teeth. But he, being full of the Holy Ghost. So you can't be full of a camp or full of, I'm just justified by my works. You got to be on fire, man. See, the only way we're going to be ready to die for the Lord and issue into those days with these demons and these laws being passed and men hating us, you understand, and gashing upon their teeth, is to be full of the Holy Spirit. Looked up steadfastly into heaven and saw the glory of God in Yahushua standing on the right hand of God. And that's mercy. It says, and said, behold, I see the heavens open and the Son of Man standing on the right hand of God. Then they cried out with a loud voice and stopped their ears and ran upon him with one accord. And that's what's going to happen, man. They're going to run upon you on one accord, enter into your houses, take your jobs from you. And a lot of brothers don't know how to survive out in the wilderness, man. We weren't raised, right, to be able to survive out in the wilderness. A lot of tactics, how to start fires, how to fish, simple things, how to clothe yourself, protection, right, build you a tent. All of these things a lot of brothers aren't privy to. So when you get pushed out in those days, right, it's going to take a large amount of faith in the spirit to be able to survive, man. And the Most High has showed you plenty of times in the scriptures that he can do all things. Right? I want to read that last part again. It says, and they cried out with one, so like you're out with a loud voice and stopped their ears and ran upon them with one accord. So as these things kick off and all of these laws and these demons start to come at you in full force, you got to be ready in the spirit. Brothers got it.
God, most definitely, King. And, you know, the only reason why the world feels like that's acceptable to do, right, whether it be Israel or the other nations, is because this world is corrupt. This world is wicked, right? We're creatures of habit, and we adapt to things that we see, right? We're being desensitized to murders, to death, right? You can get on social media right now. I guarantee you see somebody getting beat up, somebody getting shot, somebody getting stabbed, right? Extortion, right? You got people with scams, right? We're being desensitized to the pureness of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, right? Because the world is corrupt, right? Let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 9. And I'm going to start at verse number 17. Right? It says, he answered me saying, like as the field is, so is also the seed. As the flowers be, such are the colors also. Such as the workman is also, such is the work. Right? So how the world is how the things that are around it is going to be. Right? So if the seed is planted on good ground and the trees around it are bringing forth good fruit, and the leaves are lively, they're pure and they're beautiful, the brightest of green, so is that seed going to be growing up as the next tree next to it, right? Such are the colors of the flowers, right? The colors of the flowers. You ever go into a meadow or look at a meadow? It's rows of white flowers, it's rows of yellow flowers. They all grow together, right? And the husbandman is himself, so is the husbandry also, for it was the time of the world. And now when I prepared the world, which was not yet made, even for them to dwell in that now live, no man spake against me. For then everyone obeyed. But now the manners of them which are created in this world that is made are corrupted by perpetual seed. Right? This world is corrupted because everything around it is corrupted. Right? Everything you see is corrupt. Right? So when you start to notice certain things, like in the wintertime, right? People get sad, right? Seasonal depression, right? So people are all depressed and sad because all they see is gray skies. The trees are dead. The flowers are dead. The animals aren't running around. That's the same thing with this world. When Esau's in charge, everything that we do is going to be acceptable in the eyes of Esau and those who are under his rulership. That's why the Arab man and the East Indian man, they find it okay to treat the servants of the Lord as they do, to gainsay against us, to gainsay what we believe, right? But we'd be wrong if we talk about that red dot on their face, right? Talk about how they wear those stupid garments that don't even look good, man. We would be in the wrong, but they're corrupted by the perpetual seed that's running this world. And by a law which is unsearchable, rid themselves. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it. Right? So the world is in peril because the ideology of the white man, right? Let me not even say that, Esau, because you know he watching, right? And our people are simple. They get offended by hearing things, right? But sometimes you gotta be blunt with things, right? You gotta be blunt with what you say. Right, these devices that they conjured up in their mind, right, the laws that they put out, right, that's why the world is in such disarray and chaos. Right, verse 21, and I'm pass it to the next brother. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster and a plant of a great people. Right, so the Lord has his cluster that he's keeping to himself, the freshest of grape. And those are the elect. Those are the ones who aren't dabbling and dwelling in the perils, but they're looking at the ways of old. They're looking at their forefathers. They're looking at the righteous kings who set Israel in order. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be and let my grape be kept in my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. Right? So let the multitudes who follow in vanity, right, let them die in vain. Let them perish. But the laborers and the laborers of the Lord are going to be perfect to be saved. Right? That's that perfect vine that the Lord is coming back for. That beautiful grape. Right? Even in the ancient world, to carry a cluster of grapes, it took 2 men. Right? And you're going to have hundreds of thousands of angels to get the clusters of the Lord. Right? That's perfect in his sight. My brother's got it.
And going into that, you have about the devices and the wickedness that came into it. You have a new Bible out called the Upside Down Bible. Right? So Zondervan, they produced the new Upside Down Kingdom Study Bible, right? That was written with diversity in mind, including theological diversity and gender diversity, right? So what is this essentially saying? They created a freaked out Bible, man. We could do what you want to do. Now, I haven't read it. You can say, well, you didn't read it. Well, I don't have to read it. I'm not reading it, man. We're not going to read the upside. That makes no sense to read the Upside Down Kingdom Bible. Even the title of that is just madness, right? But anytime we see those words, diversity, gender diversity, theological diversity, it's really Babylonianism. So it's a Babylonian Bible that they're putting out there, and they're telling the people, buy this. Buy and learn about the new God. So this, I was going to touch on a quick part of this Bible, right? It reads, it's like, let me jump on. You even got a lot of Christians mad at this, man. Right? It reads, where is this at? There's a quick point on this. And it shows that the world is coming to an end, man. This world is coming to an end. Let's see. It reads, they call it a woke Bible, right? They're calling it a woke Bible. So it reads, this study Bible is supposed to be nuanced, and it certainly is. It's so squishy on most controversial topics, but not certain woke ones. On some of those authors took obvious positions that the notes lose authority, turning into, some people say this and some people say that, but we can't really know. In many cases, we can really know. For an example, in Genesis, we know how and when God created. So basically, when you get a study Bible, any brother that have the Zondervan 6 or Zondervan study Bible, or like a Thomas Nelson study Bible, they always give like a commentary or like a breakdown of, you know, what's going on. So in his Bible, they're pretty much putting philosophies of man in there. So you might potentially read something about Sodom and Gomorrah. And when in Genesis, where it says, Genesis 13:13, and the men of Sodom are wicked as sinners exceedingly before the Lord. Then you look at the commentary on the Upside Down Bible, and it might say they really weren't wicked, right? That was just a thought for that time. Really, if you're a homosexual, then God still loves you. Now, I'm not saying it says that, but that's that mentality of gender diversity and theological diversity, right? They'll put the scriptures together and then they'll overlap it with folly and vanity, right? So there's no fear of the Lord in the land, man, right? There's no fear of the Most High in the land. You have the Queen James Bible, you got the Upside Down Kingdom Bible, right? And it's all about potentially homosexuality, lies and deception, man, right? So that's also a sign of the end of the world, right? I just want to get one quick precept on that, right? This is Matthew, staying in the same chapter, right? Matthew chapter 24 and verse number 11. And many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. So you're going to have more and more of this stuff going on, man. The Upside Down Kingdom Bible, and the Queen James Bible, right? Diversity and freakism included. Now, I would like to see what's actually in it. I don't want to read it, but I want to see how they break certain things down, man. And people are going to buy that book. It's the woke Bible. Everybody wants to be woke and and essentially freaked off. That's what woke means. Your mind is freaked out to accept all things that are unrighteous. And people are going to buy that book and read that Bible, and they're going to have their own understanding. That's what the Lord said, who changed the truth of God into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the creator. So they're looking to worship the creature and make their own God. They're looking to reshape the so-called values, the morals, the integrity and understanding that's in the Bible, and freak it off with the wine and have people read this and understand and get rid of the truth. So this whole society is absolutely backwards, man. And they are the false prophets that's arising and deceiving many. Right? But brothers got it.
Khan, I want to get these two quick precepts in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, in verse number 22. Right, and that's evil. Hey, the Lord said in the book of Revelation, right? Chapter, and like I said, I ain't about to pull too many precepts. I'm gonna just quote it in 22 and 18 and 19. If you add unto the words of this book, the Lord is going to add unto you the plagues. And if you take away any words of this book, and that's what Esau does. He takes away the words of God, right? It's the book of Revelation, chapter 22 and 18. It says, for I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. And prophecy isn't just in one part of the Bible. It's all throughout the scriptures. If any man shall add unto these things, right? That's your wicked commentaries, right? That's taking a precept and completely reversing it. Some Bibles, you have the CB something, the Jubilee something, 2000. You got all of these versions. And some versions, it'll be one precept, but then you read it in another version, it'll be a paragraph.
Right.
How did you take a precept that's 2 lines and out of nowhere you read in another translation, it's a damn paragraph, man. It says, if any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written into this book, man. Right? Meaning all the plagues of Egypt, the death, the destruction, the fire coming down. Right? And if any man shall take away from the words of this book, of this prophecy, and that's spiritual because the Lord said that about the law. You can't add or take away from the law. You can't add or take away from prophecy. God shall take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city and from the things which are written in this book, right? So the Lord is going to take away from every man that has ever added or taken away from the word. And that goes for you false apostles too, right? Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 22. Right, essentially, anyone that's breaking down the Bible with a private interpretation is adding it to the word. Right, this is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 22. It says, moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of God. And that's what they do. They err in the knowledge of the Most High. They're taking the truth and they turning it into a lie. But whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance, those so great plagues they called peace. Right. And when the Lord, judge, like the brother was just going into, maybe in Sodom and Gomorrah, they'll take something and twist it and call it peace. They'll pull something out of context, right? Or maybe, this was really that. And, they're already adding until it was an apple, right? In Genesis, when they ate the fruit, they're calling it a real serpent. And, the way when Esau touched the scriptures, like I said in Psalm chapter 50, right in verse 16 all the way down, right? Who have given thee, paraphrasing extremely greatly, right, to touch the words of life, man. It says, wherefore wouldst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another treacherously, or grieved them by adultery. Now, these are all of the wicked spirits when people err from the knowledge of God that come to pass on earth. And you see the coming to pass on earth by all of Esau's decrees. You see unjust killings. You see secret ceremonies. You see revelings. You see strange riots. You see all of the fruit of what the Lord says when you err from the knowledge of the Most High being displayed upon earth. Right? Brothers got it.
Con. I'm gonna let me back off of that. That's Deuteronomy the 4th chapter, man. You're gonna add to the words of the Lord, man. It's over for you. Right? Esau's such a God-loving person in a God-loving country They do the complete opposite of everything the Lord says. Right? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 30 and start at verse number 5. And it reads, every word of God is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. So these words of the Lord are pure. Right? And it's a shield unto those who truly trust in the Lord. Right? Who truly trust in the things that they see written from Genesis all the way to Revelations. Right? Verse number 6. Add thou not unto his words, lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar. Right? So you got this upside down Bible, right? They got the gay Bible. They got all these things, and Esau's just being found a liar in everything that they touch, man. You got 38 different genders. How is that even possible?
Right.
That don't even make sense. But when you go and buy a shirt, it's only in man, or it's in male or female, men or women shirts. Right? They try to do all these things to include everybody into the covenant of the Lord, but the Lord didn't include everybody into the covenant of the Lord. Right? Those coexist bumper stickers.
Right.
Right? All that stuff is madness and blasphemy. So the only way to truly learn to separate from the ways of this world and not trust your oppressor is to learn from the ones who truly did it. So, man, I don't even want to get another Zondervan Bible after seeing that.
Yeah, man.
That joint kind of pissed me off, man. Them Zondervan study Bibles,
yeah,
that's just fire.
Crazy.
But now they got the upside down Bible. Man, madness. What you got it?
It's off.
Kanye, and I was looking, man, to see if I could find a PDF. Right now, this is from. I looked at the ebook. Right, I'm not gonna pull it up on the screen, but it says, "Think deeply, love widely." Whatever that means. The kingdom of God calls believers to live faithfully in a way that flips the wisdom of worldly kingdoms on its head. In a culture that has become exponentially polarized, it can be difficult to think deeply and love widely. And where's that in the Bible? To love widely. It reads, the NIV Upside Down Kingdom Bible provides hundreds of side column notes, full-page articles, essays, and book instructions that skillfully and thoughtfully address topics such as race and ethnicity, environmental care, science, abortion, wealth and poverty, politics, baptism, technology, and others. So this is just a book of madness. They talk about abortion and reproduction, art and worship, baptism, creation care, divorce, friendship, magic, witchcraft, sexuality, Satan, demons, angels, and giants. And you read that book, man, you're going to be bugged out. Right? If you read that book, you're going to be bugged out. You're going to be reading one chapter of Genesis, the 19th chapter, then it's a whole essay telling you that sodomy is good for you. And try this and think about if you really were a sodomite. What if you were a Lot? And think about the love of the sodomites. And think deep, love wide. Let them in your house and let them come into your mind and think about what it would be. And you start getting freaked out, man. Letting demons inside of you. You know? So you got to be mindful of this stuff, man. You got to be mindful of these prophecies in the last days. Right? Let me get a quick precept. 2 Timothy chapter 3. Right? Next thing you know, you're sitting down doing God knows what. You're doing God knows what because you read the Bible. You got a breakdown. Right? 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse number 5. I'm going to start at 1 and jump to 5. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. All right, let's jump to verse 5. And it gives a list of different demons that the Most High is going to pour out on the earth. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. For of this sort are they which creep into houses. So those are demons. And lead captive silly women, laden with sins, led away with diverse lust. You see that? So these spirits are creeping to your house, your body, your actual house, man, and they'll lead you away. The Lord said, turn away from those spirits. spirits that have a form of godliness, they'll use the Bible, but they deny the power of the Most High. So I guarantee that when you read this, where's this at? This, and it's, you got Edomites saying stay away from this. Ken Ham, right? Ken Ham, he's saying stay away. He's saying stay away from it. Right? You got Edomites telling you stay away from the upside down Bible. And this guy, you see his title, he's the speaker, author, and founder of CEO of Answers in Genesis. And he doesn't know what's going on, but he's making money. He's a CEO. So he's making money off of breaking down Genesis. He has no idea what's going on. But even he, being a fool, says stay away from the upside down Bible, man. You know, right? Brothers want to touch on that?
Yeah, I got one more precept on that through the
God.
Spirit.
God.
And Hosea chapter 9 and verse 7, right? And you know, he doesn't know anything about what's going on in Genesis, man. Right? He gonna charge you an arm and a leg, and he gonna tell you nothing but madness. It's the book of Hosea chapter 9 and verse number 7. It says the days of visitation are come, the days of recompense are come. Israel shall know it. The prophet is a fool. See, when the Lord visits the earth, he turns away, you understand? And everyone that speaks the word of God isn't of the Most High. You got false prophets, wolves in sheep's clothing, right? You have a lot of mischief and evil and seducing spirits sent out. You got a lot of demons sent out, man. Right? Like the Satan, right, tried to overthrow the Lord, you understand, in the wilderness, right? I mean, Satan knows the precepts. So don't think that Satan can't manipulate something like it says in 2 Corinthians, the 11th chapter. Such as they that transform themselves into the apostles of light, right? Paraphrasing greatly, man. But they're really Satan. It says the prophet is a fool, the spiritual man is mad, right? I mean, you have men that feign themselves spiritual, on fire, teachers, rulers, whatever the case may be. And mad is just an ancient word, it's just saying crazy. It's just all out crazy with the stuff they're coming up with, man. Right? For the multitude of thine iniquity, right, and great hatred. So the Most High is called the spiritual men and certain prophets fools. So everybody isn't a prophet of the Most High. You look at Hananiah, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, when you read the book of Jeremiah, man, right? Breaking the yoke and acting as if he's breaking the Babylonian captivity. Right? Jeremiah tried him, man. Right? Let me get that last precept, and brothers got it. And he put him on trial. Right? In Jeremiah chapter 28. This Jeremiah. And that's what you have to do. You have to put these false prophets on trial. Right? This is the book of, right, Jeremiah chapter 28. Right? And I'm going to start at verse 5. It says, for the prophet Jeremiah said unto the prophet Hananiah in the presence of the priests and in the presence of all the people that stood in the house of the Lord, even the prophet Jeremiah said, Amen. The Lord do so. The Lord perform thy words, which thou hast prophesied to bring again the vessel of the Lord's house and all that is carried away captive from Babylon into this place. Nevertheless, hear now this word that I speak in thine ears and in the ears of all the people, the prophets that have been before me. So Jeremiah put Hananiah on trial, man. Right? When you read this chapter, it's a mighty chapter. Right? You got false, seducing spirits trying to give you hope, peace, prosperity. Breaking the yoke of the Babylonian captivity may seem good for people. They may rejoice. They may want to follow his words, and whatever prophecies of hope may come to pass in their mind from this man. But Jeremiah stood up and said, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old, both, Salakia, prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. The prophet which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord have truly sent him. So when you read Deuteronomy chapter 18, the Lord clarifies who and what a true prophet is according to the words of God. That's how you know when these things come to pass, what truly is sent from the Most High and what isn't. Our brothers could break that down. Brothers got it.
Con, I wanted to we'll read it just because you brought it up through the spirit, right? This is Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse number 20. It reads, "But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die. And if thou say in thine heart, how shall we know the word which Yahweh hath not spoken? When a prophet speaketh in the name of Yahweh, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord hath not spoken. But the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously, thou shalt not be afraid of him." And I guarantee, man, in this upside down Bible, hold on, not the managing mass fatality, in the upside down Bible, I'm sure they go into prophecy. And they probably break it down, well, God's really not going to do that. You know, he didn't mean that. He's talking about, thinking of a precept. It's some cold precepts. When the Lord said he'll slay her, Jezebel and her children with death, man. He'll kill her children with death in Revelation 2 and 20 on down. And they'll say that's not really talking about the children. That's talking about, your emotions. And you have to think deeply and love widely. And God is going to kill your emotions that are against, heavenly things, and just smooth words. And like Amos was saying, man, Zondervan is my favorite publishing company of Bibles, man, over Thomas Nelson and all of the other ones, man. They put in their work, but now they're putting the upside down Kingdom Study Bible, man, right? And they're flipping. They said you got to think deeply and love widely. And where is that in the scriptures? Where is that at? The love widely. That means accept all things. Think about what we're about to bring to you, and just meditate on it and love it. Right? Look at this. Hold on, I'm gonna read one more. It reads, "And we don't love widely by defining love according to how our culture defines it." Well, what does that mean? That means you accept all things. We think and love according to the standards set in God's word. It must be our starting point in biblical truth. And that's what they're pushing. They're saying that we have to love according to our own emotions. But whoever put this article together, this Edomite, right? He said that's not what it is, man. Ken Ham, the CEO of Answers in Genesis, right? The chief executive author, he's saying, don't read it, right? He's telling you don't read it, right? So you had that going on. You got Trump pledges the Iron Dome to shield U.S. from hypersonic missiles. So Trump is saying that we're going to stop the ICBM missiles from destroying America. So he put together the Iron Dome, right? So that's the next generation defense system to stop the chariots and stop the missiles from Russia, Iran, China, North Korea, and all of those strange nations, right? So this is also, there's a lot going on in the earth, man. We may not have time to touch on everything, but you got this going on. Your brothers want to touch on this?
Nah.
Cool.
Okay,
That's kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah, if you believe his Iron Dome is going to work, you can read Jeremiah 50 and Jeremiah 51, right? And that Iron Dome doesn't work any damn way. Last time, what was that group? Hezbollah. They shot them missiles. They was hitting buildings, man. And hitting cities. And they get what, billions of dollars from the United States, and they still getting hit with missiles. So, and again, one more point: there's no other country on the earth that spends more money in military defense and military spending than America. So he's looking to be like his Amalekite co-partners out there, but they can't stop these missiles from hitting America, man. Right? It's not going to happen.
Salaki, one quick point, and that just goes to show you it's witchcraft, because one of their defense systems is called the Magic Wand, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See that?
It's called the Magic Wand,
right?
And they're supposed to, it's supposed to stop all of the missiles coming in, right? That's just a wicked sorceress name, right? To even say that you're going to save and help and block, right, all of the missiles coming in the defense system, to call it a magic wand. So It's also called the David Sling. David Sling magic wand. Brothers.
Right. See that I do want to get one quick precept, and that's wickedness, man. I want to go to Jeremiah chapter 51, right? Kind of talked about it. Quick precept. This is Jeremiah 51 and 58. It reads, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, and her high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor in vain, and the folk in the fire, and they shall be weary." Now, in the ancient world, broad walls were your defense system, right? Jerusalem, we had our walls. Tyre and Zidon had their walls. Ancient nations had walls. And the Lord said there's no new thing under the sun. So now your modern day walls for war defense is these anti-missile defense systems. So this broad wall that it's talking about is not an actual wall in America. You're looking for a broad wall in America to fulfill Jeremiah 51. It's not it. This broad wall that it's talking about, because what do walls do? They stop arrows, man, and military from invading your city. So the broad walls in today's society is that Iron Dome that they're looking to build, and all the other anti-missile defense systems. The Most High said that those are going to be broken down. Those are the gates and the walls, and they're going to be burnt with fire. And the people shall labor in vain, and the folk in the fire, and they shall be weary. So all this is in vain because they're going to be destroyed. There's no wall, there's no defense system, there's no gate that can stop this society from being burnt with fire. So you're pledging to build an Iron Dome to shield the U.S. You can't stop these missiles, man. Right? You can't stop these missiles. So you got that going on. You got this for you, Northern Kingdom. Texas teacher calls for ICE to come to their school over students who don't even speak English, man. So now you got Edomites calling, what is ICE? Immigration. I can't remember the actual acronym off the top of the head. I think it's here it is, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So you Northern Kingdom, you better get right, man, because they'll come to your school. They grabbed them up from the school. A substitute teacher said, "I got these spics, these immigrants in my school, man." He's a substitute teacher. He said they can't speak English. He's on the phone while they're eating lunch, saying, "Arrest these niggers in here." And they came and they got these guys and grabbed them up, man. We just came from Texas, San Antonio. It's mad Northern Kingdom out there. So you Northern Kingdom, like we said before, you better take them cowboy boots off and them spurs and that poncho and that sombrero and put a mitre on and some fringes and some camp boots, man, and do the work. They're gonna grab you up, and they don't care if you wear your you in the band, man. What's that band called? The Sriracha. One of those
mariachis. The mariachis.
Yeah, they don't care that you're in a mariachi band, man. And you like to play your music, man. They're coming to get you. Get right. Stop riding bulls. Stop roasting pork. You know, stop acting like you don't want to deal with the so-called Judites, man, and the Benjamites, and that. Stop acting like you don't know what's going on. And you better get right, and you're gonna find out that, hey, we your brothers, man. And these so-called white men, you've been cooning for them, linking up with them. You file white on your applications. You Dominicans, you Puerto Ricans. You don't click black or Hispanic. You file white, especially you Dominicans, you Simeonites. They're coming after you. The Most High is using them as a whooping stick so you could get right. So you could trust in the Most High. Right, but brothers got it. Or we can move on.
No, we can move on.
Then the last one, Trump bans DEI. So all you Negroes, man, who's looking to catch a break in this society, try to get that job, they got to hire me. They got to bring black people on campus. You're not getting it, man. Right? They're cutting you out the program again. Right? You're not included anymore. That's part of their agenda. And all you transformers and Negroes who love, he's taking America back to the 1930s. Right? And it's more to come, man. There's more to come on the earth. I believe that was all. We had this guy. There's a lot going on. Klaus Schwab restoring trust in the intelligent age. You got to watch this demon from the World Economic Forum, right? This guy's an absolute demon. You got to watch him. And then what else did we have? I believe that was it through the spirit, man. There's a lot going on in the earth.
Right? I had a quick precept for that DEI.
Come.
Right, this Proverbs 11 and 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Right, all that DEI stuff is I want to be accepted by the so-called white man.
Right,
I want him to look at me as equal. Right, that affirmative action. That stuff is madness, man. You're a handout, a basket case. Right, you shouldn't even want to be around that. Why you want to be in a law firm? Not saying you shouldn't, desire to be a lawyer if that's what you're desiring to be, but why you want to be in a law firm and they only hiring you because of your skin color, right? So they can get tax write-offs and they can benefit from that, right? Don't go where you don't feel accepted, right? Go to a law firm that represents your people. Stop trying to be a token, right? A token black, right? And everybody look at you and try to give you high fives up high and down low, right? Dave Chappelle had a skit like that when keeping it real goes wrong, right? And the dude said, "Give me some skin." He lost his mind, started tripping in the thing, in the meeting,
right?
Right, that DEI, man, all praises that the Most High got rid of that DEI stuff, man.
Oh, right.
So Esau can can fully show his horns, and Jake can stop being so simple, right? Loving everybody. But brothers got it.
Yeah, I was gonna say a quick point, man. You get that DEI, next thing you know, you got old Edomites in there calling you brother, like the same way Hulk Hogan said, "Yeah, brother." Hey, I can't stand when an Edomite call me brother, man. Right? They call you brother. They're trying to get a dat. They're trying to damn just what's the word I'm looking for? Just pamper you, man, and rock you to sleep. So it's good that the Most High is putting His spirit on this devil, man, to show you that this society has never loved you, man. You Northern Kingdom, you're not accepted. They coming at you and they flipping your sombrero off your head, man. And he rounding you up and he wrapping you up in an aluminum foil blanket and throwing you in a FEMA camp. And really, nobody knows where they're taking you. There's no camera following you. It's not live. They're doing God knows what with these children and these individuals. They could be taking them and selling them, pimping out the women, popping them, killing the men, taking their organs, making them slaves, domestics, putting them on ships, selling them, putting them in the mine. I saw this video of Selena Gomez, the celebrity. She's sitting up there crying, man. They're taking my people. Hey, the Most High is letting you know who this devil is. Let me get a quick precept real quick. Right? And like Amos said, hey, we're glad at these matters, man. Because all Biden did was pour strong wine down your throat, man. Right? This is Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So this devil's going to come in great wrath. And a lot of these laws, the Most High put in their spirit to make these laws, man, that you can understand that this devil has always been your enemy. You're no longer accepted. You're no longer included. He's coming after you, right? Affirmative action. He's shutting all that down. He's looking to potentially get rid of your benefits, man. So all you so-called black women who get the men out the house to get benefits, hey, you're going to get that taken away from you too. One more point, not to be long-winded. There's a thing called austerity measures, right? So austerity measures are economic policies that government use to reduce budget benefits, right? So they have tax increases, spending programs. I mean, they cut spending on programs and education, healthcare, and social protection. So they'll cut, your municipal benefits that you get, right? They'll cut your police force, they'll cut your food stamps, and they'll cut your your unemployment, right? Look at this. Government can limit unemployment benefits. They can reduce your pension. They can privatize public services, bus stops, airplanes. These are austerity measures, and that's how Trump is moving. He's moving in the spirit of austerity measures and putting these hard policies out there to really get the people to eventually riot and get them to lose their mind, man. What are you gonna do without your food stamps? What are you gonna do without your section 8 housing, man? What are you gonna do without your pantries and your police department and all of these things that keep you comfortable, man? And the Lord said in Revelation will be nourished from the face of the serpent. And that nourishment is about to be taken away. And his devil, he's about to show his hands or show his horns, man. Right? Look at this. These are the things that can happen with austerity measures. Can worsen the cost of living, lead to a decline of the quality of social services, perpetuate poverty, and exasperate inequality. So once this devil really cracked down with austerity measures, a lot of you jakes, man, you're going to be caught out there. You're going to have to deal with it. That's what Trump is moving in, that same spirit. But brothers got it.
Yeah, brothers got it.
Well, we can bring out closing precepts.
Con.
Yeah, right.
I'm about to bring it out through the spirit. And Revelation, right, chapter 3. Right, it's the mighty book of Revelation, chapter 3, and verse number 2. It says, be watchful. Right, and that's what this lesson is about. It's about being watchful through the spirit, man. And you have to keep watch, right? Because if not, the days of vengeance are going to come upon you unawares. The next thing you know, like brothers were bringing out earlier, you start being rocked to sleep. And if you be rocked to sleep, you're not going to know when that day cometh, man. It says, and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die. For I have not found our works perfect before Yahweh. And it's extremely important to examine yourself. How much you read, pray, fast, the alms you give, how loving you are to your people, right? How you treating your brother, how you're moving as a husband, as you moving as a wife. All of these things are important by being perfected. Because there's always something that the Most High can find against you, man. No matter how perfect you feel like you are in the spirit, on your best day and at your best estate, all men are vanity. It says, remember therefore how that has received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. Right? So if you're not watching, the Lord is going to visit you like a thief, and he's going to blow out your candlestick right when you least expect it. That's why a lot of brothers, you don't really see their downfall. It just happens out of nowhere, man, because they've been falling away behind closed doors. Those brothers have nobody to blame but themselves. Examination is everything. That's why the Lord said to keep watch, or else he will visit you like a thief. And no man knows when a thief is going to come, or else he will stay up to keep watch. So continue to guard your spirit and stay alert in these last days. Brothers got it.
God, this is Isaiah chapter 40 and verse number 9. And it reads, O Zion, that bringeth good tidings, get thee up from the high mountain. O Jerusalem, that bringeth good tidings, lift up with voices with strength. Lift it up, be not afraid, saying to the city of Judah, behold your God. Right? So the times are coming when we're going to lift up our voice, understand that the Lord is right there for us. Right? And bring forth good tidings like the brother Ryan was saying. Right? Make sure you're doing the things that are acceptable in the sight of the Lord. Right? Verse number 10. Behold, the Lord God will come with a strong hand. Right? The Lord Yahweh will come with a strong hand, and his arm shall rule for him. Behold, his reward is with him, and his works before him. He shall feed his flock like a shepherd. He shall gather the lambs with his arm, and carry them into his bosom, and shall gently lead those that are with young, right? So the Lord is coming to deliver us from this oppression, right? Coming to deliver us from this hell that we got to witness on a day-to-day basis, right? You got to be patient. You got to be long-suffering. You got to be temperate, right? Then the scriptures tell you this is the faith and the patience of the saints, right? Those that keep the commandments in Revelations 14th, the 14th chapter, or 14th chapter, the 12th verse. So you got to make sure that you're truly embellishing in these scriptures, right? Not just reading it and be like, oh yeah, the Lord said this. You got to read it with some excitement. Read it like your life depends on it, because it does. But with that, you got it, brother.
I'm gonna get Revelation 22 and 12. Right, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 22 and 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. So brothers should be excited, man. Yahweh Shah said he's coming quickly, right? As a thief in the night, man. The Most High could speed things up any given second. Bombs could drop, or hell could break loose, could be a false flag, or anything can happen because Yahweh Bashmel Shah is in control. And this is not a lie. The Lord said, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, man. And his reward is going to be given to every man, right? There's a reward for the righteous, and there's a reward for the wicked. So brothers have to constantly keep laboring, keep your hand on the plow. The Lord said, lest your heart be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, so that day come upon you unawares. So check your spirit, man. See if your mind is going too far into this world. Are you giving your mind more to your job than to this truth? Are you giving your mind more to the world than this truth? Are you giving your mind more to your family in this world than this truth? You have to weigh this thing in the balance, man, right? Because your whole focus should be getting this knowledge, getting yourself built up in these last days, getting your house in order. That's what the Most High said. Now, therefore, set thine house in order, right? In 2nd Esdras, the 14th chapter, man. And your women should know what's going on, man. Your children should know what's going on. You should be in the spirit of Yahweh Bashmi Shai and watching this place go down, man, and waiting for the promises, man. That should drive you. That should be your motivation. The promises that the Most High has for his people, man. How do you not want these promises, man? What are you putting before the promises? You know, these are the things that you have to really think about, man. And the Most High is going to reward every man according as their work shall be. And everybody's not going to get the same reward, right? The lukewarm, hey, they're not going to make it. The slothful, they're not going to make it. The guys that kind of go 25%, and they're going to get a 25% reward. You go 50%, you're going to get a 50% reward. And you go 100%, you're going to get a 100% reward, man. Right? So you got to labor, and the Most High is going to reward you according to your labor, you know? So with that, I'm going to close up, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Basham Yahushua, Brother Naquan,
Brother Amos.
you was on mute, King.
Shalom, Brother Orion.
Kwam Yashala. Shalom.